Are at day 3 of Every for Dev conference. It has been all exciting. Now we're wrapping up. We have had the pleasure of having policymakers, ministers, commissioners, researchers, innovators, and to tell us a little bit more about his earlier session on African innovations. Where did we succeed? Where did we fail? Is Patrick Mugisha, who's the commissioner of the Ministry of Trade and Industry in the Ugandan government. Patrick, a little bit about your session and also highlights from this conference. What are the things that you're taking away?
Yeah. So I just want to first thank the organizers and all the participants in attendance. This has been an eye-opening session that we really feel should often happen, and I look forward for the next session, which is poised to happen in the next 2 years. But bottom line, evidence for development is a critical matter when it comes to how we're going to run our governments in Africa in the next couple of decades as we strive towards Agenda 2063. And looking at the innovation space in Africa, from the start, I'll always stand by this. Africa has got more innovators than inventors. And that is backed up by the fact that if you look at the global patent filing statistics, Africa contributes just 0.5%. And that is supported by the fact that also, generally as a continent, we contribute only about 0.5% of R&D cost as a value of GDP towards ST&I. So that means we're not going to expect new outputs or a lot of results when the inputs are not so important and not enough in that way. So, but then looking at in the last couple of decades, looking at the time of STISA 2024, I think there are success stories that we can actually leverage on. For example, most African countries now, at least they've got an entity specific for ST&I where ST&I function is domiciled. It's either a commission of science, tech and innovation, or a council of science, tech and innovation, or a ministry or a department or an agency, which is good. So for the case of policy, that means also from STISA 2024, most countries were actually triggered, it catalyzed institutions across Africa to begin embracing having policies that are formulated in alignment to STISA 2024. That was the first start. So STISA 2034 presents a platform where with a lot of key learnings we've picked and what we need to do in terms of strengthening the infrastructure, looking at supporting partnerships across board, especially within academia and industry, but then also being deliberate as government to increase more funding towards R&D. But again, we need to also strengthen infrastructure that support R&D. For example, intellectual property landscapes in some of these African countries is a critical issue. Then business development skills for R&D specialists within academia and public research institutions is a key enabler. We stand a risk of having so many researchers in R&D, but no output in terms of enterprises to sustain and contribute to the R&D gap that we need to finance them. I believe at the end of the day, this platform has given us an opportunity to share idea, sharpen each other, plan for the next decade of action to make sure that how do we position ourselves in the global space, because Africa is not short of ideas. We just need an enabling environment. Thank you very much.